Well, as we get into the summer months, there's a number of things we consider from an infectious disease standpoint. Obviously, one of the things that we find as the season gets warmer is that those things that creep and crawl and fly and bite become more prevalent. And so the diseases that we see being spread by mosquitoes and ticks and things become of increasing concern during the summer months. One of the things that the viewers need to be aware of is West Nile virus. This is clearly a mosquito-borne disease, and with all the rainfall that we've had this year and the flooding, there's some concern that this might be a bigger year for West Nile virus than we've seen over the last few summers. So I do think that people need to be concerned about that. It shouldn't rule their lives, and don't go outside or anything like that, but they do need to take some special precautions, use some common sense, and try to minimize their risk from West Nile virus. Another one of those insects that we see that comes out during the summertime would be ticks. Ticks can carry a number of diseases here in this region. The ones that we're concerned about most would be Rocky Mountain spotted fever. We don't see very many of those cases in Nebraska and Iowa, but every year there's just a few cases. Rocky Mountain spotted fever, even though it's called Rocky Mountain spotted fever, is actually more prevalent in the southeastern and south central part of the United States. So we have a lot of our viewers who are going to go down to Arkansas and the Ozarks and vacation there. They can very easily contract these diseases and bring it back with them. So the tick bites you, you have about a week of incubation period, and then typically people will have a very severe headache and fever. If you develop those symptoms, I would suggest you see your doctor, because there are some antibiotics that can be given that will very effectively treat Rocky Mountain spotted fever and another very similar disease that's called ehrlichiosis. Both of those spread by ticks. We see them during the summer. Not a lot of cases around here, but people can easily go to places, pick it up, come back and get sick while they're here. Those are both potentially fatal diseases that can be readily treated if we think about them, diagnose them, and treat them with some simple antibiotics. So that would be some things that you worry about during the summer for, again, those creepy, crawly, stingy sort of things that we typically don't see during the summer. And then another concern that I guess I would put out for during the summer months would be some food safety concerns. Now clearly people are out doing barbecues and having picnics. They're putting food out sometimes unrefrigerated out in the sun. It's going to quickly warm up and going to support the growth of microbes. People need to be particularly concerned about that during the summer. So keeping hot foods hot, cold food cold, always good advice. For your barbecues, you want to make sure that you cook your hamburgers all the way through. We've not had any real recent outbreaks of E-coli 0157 or Shiga toxin producing E. coli, but it's always a risk. And you can avoid that completely by just making sure that your food is cooked appropriately. So food safety becomes of increasing importance here during the summer. People need to be aware of that. Stuff that's not necessarily infectious disease related. Obviously, being careful out in the sunshine. We know that the UV irradiation is going to promote certain types of skin cancers. You're going to want to use sunscreen to prevent that. Now, there's some contrary information right now that people become very suppressed or deficient in vitamin D that we're finding is important for a whole host of different kinds of diseases and maintenance of a healthy body. And so a lot of experts that I'm aware of right now are recommending that people, when they first go outdoors in the sunlight, maybe not put their sunscreen on. Give yourself 10 minutes or so to soak up and convert some vitamin D, and then put on the sunscreen. Again, you don't want to be out there getting sunburned, but getting a little bit of sun exposure is probably healthy for you.